to the Pulse of Spokane. Join us for the latest in news, views, and conversation with community leaders. The Pulse of Spokane is brought to you in part by Homes for You and CW Crates and Pallets. Now, put your finger on the Pulse of Spokane.
Well, welcome to the Pulse of Spokane. Kent Adams here. It's the 17th, a little more than halfway through the month of April. Can you believe that May is only a couple weeks away? I'm excited because one of our former interns and one of our anchors, Colin Pittman, will be here starting the 14th of May to sit in here on the Pulse every Tuesday and Wednesday through the rest of May, June, and July before he heads back to TCU and second year of college there. We've got a great program today, some good information for you. I hope you stay tuned during the whole program. Meg Lindsay and Stacia Rasmussen from GSI are going to be talking about talent and education and other pillars and whatever all that means, but they're working hard to provide some good jobs, not only the jobs, but the talent that it takes to fill those jobs in Spokane, because the more we fill from those folks here, the better off we're going to be as a community. Then Lonna Smith from Wishing Star Foundation is here. It's Goat Week, okay? And then Michael Cathcart from Better Spokane is here next on the Pulse of Spokane.
Good afternoon, Spokane. Today we have clouds rolling over us with a high of 62 degrees. It will be in the 60s and very cloudy as we progress throughout the week. During nighttime, we are going to see the temperatures drop down a little to the 40s with some overnight rain on Friday and Monday. Some clouds over in Coeur d'Alene today with a high of 55 and a low of 42, and some clouds in the valley with a high of 51 and a low of 40.
The following is sponsored by our friends and community supporters at McNeese Wheeler Attorneys. McNeese Wheeler is a boutique law firm in Spokane, handling matters in both Washington and Idaho. Areas of law include business law, wills, trusts and estates, family law, personal injury and wrongful death, and real estate matters. For your full-service legal needs, contact McNeese Wheeler Attorneys.
I'm Nikki Butler, and I'm a regional manager for STCU. My lunch buddy is Nicole.
I'm Brandy Schloss. I'm a regional manager at STCU. My lunch buddy is Angelina. She's grown up with me. I've grown up with her. To see her graduate will be a lot of fun.
Brandy and I have been lunch buddies since the girls were in second grade. It's great that STCU provides me with the opportunity to be part of Reach for the Future. We're committed to the children. We're committed to our community. I'm Nikki.
I'm Brandy.
And STCU is here for good.
This is River Ridge Frame Shop, called Frame It Today, where we can take your art, customize it, and get it ready to hang on the wall. Here at River Ridge Hardware, 2803 West Garland.
Well, Meg and Stacia kicked out Todd Milkey out of town so that they could come over. They just wanted to be here and be on TV, right? From GSI. Yeah. How are you, ladies?
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for
What?
having us.
I haven't looked outside in the last hour. What's it like? Is it nice?
Beautiful.
It's becoming a nice Spokane day, isn't it?
Is. Bicycles.
Sure. Bicycles.
Walking around.
All right. Do you see any goats out there?
No, but you've got one right here.
Yes. This is my goat insurance, okay? I'm assured by having this that I won't be goated.
But you had to pay for that, right?
Yeah. No, they brought it
Part of
in.
the
Yeah, we're going to
donation.
talk about that after you leave, and we'll have some fun with that. A couple things to talk about. One is growth pillar, and the other is talent pillar. And explain what that is. What's a pillar? The pillar to me is something that holds something up.
awesome, and I
Okay.
think that's exactly right.
Okay, I'm going to ask
So,
you to get a little closer.
Greater Spokane Incorporated has in their strategic plan 3 pillars:
Oh.
growth, talent, and voice.
Okay.
And so that is to help us hold up the community's work
Okay.
in the region for with our businesses as well. So
Right.
growth is the economic development arm and how we're utilizing our ADO status
Okay.
to help grow the economy.
And we've had some good fortune with that, haven't we?
We have had some great fortune
Yes.
with that, and that is really Stacia's area of expertise. And then
So we don't want to listen to you anymore.
Right?
No, I'm just kidding.
that's good.
Yeah, no, Meg, I'm sorry.
And then the talent pillar is
Yeah.
all about inclusive workforce development,
Yeah.
talent development for our region,
Yeah.
and then voice is the policy pieces that go along with
Yeah.
all of that, and how we communicate that to the community.
On the talent side, if we encourage businesses to come here, and I think we've had some real successes recently, but also growing our local businesses. This is a good time. I've seen some great growth in local businesses, but if we don't have the talent,
That is
okay,
correct.
I mean, we've been hunting here for a couple weeks for new salespeople, and there's competition out there. There are others that aren't quite ready for it yet, and so forth. And it's finding that talent that is so important. Let's talk about the growth pillar. What does that mean?
Well, that really does mean, like Meg alluded to,
Right.
where we want to consider both retention
Okay.
and expansion and recruitment.
And because often the criticism for chambers across the country is, well, you're always trying to bring people in, but what about our local businesses? And they're not to be forgotten, are they?
No, they are not
Yeah.
to be forgotten. In fact, they're our backyard, right?
Yes,
So
right.
unless you take care of your backyard, right, you're not going to
my
attract
my
others.
chair just lowered on me.
Yeah, so that's exactly
Yeah.
true, and we've got some phenomenal businesses
Yes.
that most of them are our members, and we all work together. Together we're greater, right? So
Right.
We want to take care of those organizations, and like you mentioned, talent is both the source, right, and the
Right.
demand, or
Right.
the source
Yeah.
are huge components of that.
What's
we need to
happening
take
with
care
the talent right now? Are we on the short end of things? Are things improving? I know you've got that beyond high school thing. I can't think of the name of it where you
Greater Minds.
Greater Minds and
Right,
so forth
right.
and so forth. I mean, you've got programs that are really working in this community to add on to what our K through 12 and our colleges are doing in trade schools and so forth. How are we doing on finding and continuing to expand that talent pool?
No, I think we're doing really well.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, so I think there's we've had the opportunity to actually showcase some of the great businesses that we have and
Okay.
where they need to grow and what
Right.
those talent pieces are when we think about growth in our region, and then being able to connect those pathways
Okay.
for students in the K-12 system and higher ed, and show them that these jobs are available. They're great jobs. They pay living wage. And they're good builders for the community.
So many of us in the business community for the last couple decades have talked about getting that 4-year degree and everything else out there. I think there's a coming back to let's look at the trades and others, because you can graduate from a trade school and apprenticeship and all of that and make a darn good living without a $100,000 or $200,000 student debt, right?
Correct.
And how do we encourage that?
Well, I
I know
think
there are a number of things going on.
So at the state level, there's some statewide focus on how we connect state agencies
Okay.
to all work together toward skilled trades.
Yes.
Apprenticeships, they're calling them career launch, career prep, and career exploration opportunities. So career launch would be coming out of high school, either working and then learning at the same time, and
Right,
earn to learn
right.
opportunity like an apprenticeship, internship kind of opportunity, work-based learning. And then career prep is going in, viewing those businesses, and at the lower levels of K-12, it's how we explore those opportunities so that we're taking the right classes.
I see
So-
us spending more time and energy, and I know through GSI would be a great example of that, giving our high school students an opportunity to go out in the community and experience what it's like. Because I know we did that after school program.
Business after school.
Business
I think
after
you did
school,
highlight
yeah.
that, which was
and,
great.
and we had, I don't know, 20 students, 25 students here and so forth that got to see what it's really like, and to be on the air.
Right.
Literally, we put them on the air, and they sat as challenged a little bit with the lights and the cameras and all of that, but they got to experience that maybe it isn't as easy as it looks at night when you see the news and so forth. But I think that's important. as much to figure out that may not be where I want to go as it is to, I really want that. And it's that inner desire to find something. I remember back my junior, senior year of high school of, what am I going to do? And a couple of things started coming to the top of the soup, if you will. You know what I mean? To start looking at. And of course, it's totally what I'm doing now is different from that. But welcome to life, because we have several
Totally
careers,
true.
don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
So we're able to showcase, those great jobs here
Yes.
with those students, and then that helps grow interest and talent for later on. I mean, Stacia is managing some big lift with Vision 2030 work that she's doing and growing the life sciences economy, and we're
Okay.
going to need talent for that.
Yes, yes. And what's the future for the life, talent, and so forth here for those that are, is it good?
It's really wonderful, actually, with the new medical school.
Yes.
WSUL Sonos Floyd
okay.
College of
I
Medicine.
kind of
right?
forget the obvious, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then that is in addition to an existing medical school program, which is the University of Washington and Gonzaga University Regional Partnership.
Mm-hmm.
So in essence, we have two major medical school programs here in Spokane.
All right.
Yeah. And they are providing that workforce and that talent into all of these great healthcare jobs that are already exist here.
I love driving through the U District.
Yes.
Because I'm just so impressed with the number of universities and schools there. But it's a downtown campus too. And I think back to a decade ago or so, one or two little buildings, and the talk about what this is going to become. Now with the bridge that goes over to, was it Sprague Avenue?
South Landing.
Yeah, and all of that. We're looking good.
You're looking good.
Yeah.
It's got some great opportunities for the future.
Yeah. You got a grant.
We did.
Tell me about that. What does that mean?
So
What does that mean for those watching? Because that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, absolutely. So CALE, the Center for Adult Experiential Learning,
Okay.
put out an RFP
Okay.
for communities across the United States
Wow.
to apply for a grant for the Inclusive Development Network. And what that means is utilizing your economic development opportunities and to integrate workforce into that, so
Okay.
that as you grow your community, you're growing your workforce
Yes.
and utilizing that in an inclusive way for those that already live here.
Yeah.
Right.
I think back to a couple of decades ago when the talk was, bring your company here to town, we have cheap labor, to now we have talented labor. Workforce. And that really has, I think, risen the bar so much, and really does, you look at some of the talent we have in Spokane, you look at some of the mid-management and other jobs that have come over, architecture and so forth, that have come from Seattle to come over here. They've got the quality of life, and they can make good income here and not have to spend 6 hours a day driving to and from work, maybe pay a toll and everything else that goes on in some of the bigger cities. It's nice for people to live in big cities, and I get that, but sometimes you don't want to. You want to be able to go to Mount Spokane and ski in 45 minutes. Right. Okay? I mean, we just have that here. So what else is GSI doing? You've had a great annual meeting a while back and so forth.
Yeah, we're working toward our next one.
Oh, Lord.
Can't tell any secrets on that.
Oh, okay. Oh, come on.
Right.
I won't tell anybody, okay? Yeah.
Probably have to do a little bit with economic growth.
Yes.
Oh, it might.
There you
Okay,
go.
kind of your
Yeah.
middle name,
Yeah,
isn't it?
right,
Really, in a lot of ways.
exactly.
Well,
Yes.
thank you to both of you for what you do, because this is important. I'm so glad. I look back. I don't know if you even know this, but when I came to town 42 years ago, I worked across the street at what was then the Chamber of Commerce. For
I
2
didn't know
years,
that.
yeah, for 2 years,
Yeah.
and did communications and that sort of thing. I am so glad to see where we are today. The sophistication, the coordination, the not forgetting the businesses that are here today. I think in sometimes, not necessarily 42 years ago, but in 30, 40 years ago, there was some times when it was bring everything new in, and I love that we're supporting what we have here to increase from 5 employees to 7 and so forth, and that just means so much for our community and for us to be able to keep, in my case, grandkids here.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. I mean, when it comes down to
know.
it, I
You do
remember
think about that, don't
I
you?
remember. Yes, I do. And I think back to my son. At least was very vocal. He's 41, works at Fairchild now as a civilian firefighter. But he was when in junior high in the first year or two of high school. Dad, I'm going to have to leave town to find a good job, and that's not true anymore. You can find, and look how many do go out and come back and so forth. So we're doing great things.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you to everybody at GSI. All right.
you.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to get the goat of you. Okay.
Well, this is Looms Day in Spokane. We got about 40 firefighters and their friends and family handing out 40,000 cups of water as the day goes by.
It's a very good opportunity to see the public and support them and help them out and cheer them on during Bloomsday.
It's one of the best things about Spokane is that we have these major events and the whole community comes together not just to participate but to volunteer and show that they really care about our city and making our city look great.
This type of an event really is emblematic of Spokane because so many people get involved. We have 50,000 people probably running this race. Always has been a very huge event.
Right now we're at the corner of Broadway and Nettleton. It's the last water station before the finish, so people are pretty much dehydrated by the time they get to us. They really need our water.
The water stations are a vital part, especially on warm days like today. It's real important that we have the volunteers to help with that. Without the volunteers, Bloomsday wouldn't exist.
All up and down the course, there are people that are involved in this celebration. It really is a celebration of what Spokane's all about.
Well, it's time for the goats, and the kind of goats that Kent allows in the studio is this kind. Okay, it's insurance. All right, we won't go into why. Okay, we'll just kind of. It's just
Kent,
not.
It's
not
part
mu-
of the story.
Oh.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
I think you should share.
You think so?
I do.
Oh, thanks a lot.
But we'll
Okay.
put the positive spin on it.
Welcome to your first and last time here.
It's my second. No.
Oh, let's go through. It's
Okay.
Krista, Carol.
Correct.
Okay, and you're Lonnie Smith, the executive director. How long have you been there?
I've only been there. I'm 6 weeks.
Wow. You
Yes.
haven't put away all the pencils yet. or
No,
anything.
I haven't, but I do smell like goat.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I bet you. I bet you do. Can we put the fan on about over here, going that direction? No, I'm kidding. Talk about why you do this. Other than the fun involved, because that's
Yes.
obvious, okay? But there's a real meaning behind all of this.
Absolutely. Well, we're actually in our 14th year
Really?
of Send a Friend a Goat Week here in
escaped that
Spokane. Well, there is going to be a 15th year,
Yeah,
Kent.
okay.
And so, what we're
Do you want to come back to
Yes,
15?
I absolutely do. And so, we're part of the Wishing Star Foundation,
Yes.
which we are the oldest grant.
She looks at me when she uses
The
the
oldest.
word oldest.
I'm excited about this.
Okay,
It's our
I know.
35th year. Wishing Star is the oldest wish-giving organization this side of the Mississippi.
Okay.
And it was started by a teacher in Spokane in 1983, a first
Okay.
grade teacher who had
Who saw a need.
had a boy in
Yeah.
her class who passed away of a brain tumor, and she felt helpless and felt like no child should have to go through that or a
the family. Yes.
on their own. So she changed in her 401k, bought herself a set of tires for her car, and started Wishing Star.
Wow.
So great story.
Do you
started
remember
here
her
locally.
name?
We do.
Karen Karowski.
Okay.
And
She's in Boise. Yeah, we
hats
still talk
off
to her.
Amazing.
Because that's true. I love it when people step up and find a
Yes.
need and do it.
Yes.
Isn't that fun?
And that's
Right,
what
and
she
put
did.
everything on the line to start Wishing
Yes,
Star. Right?
yes.
Her retirement and
Yeah.
It's pretty
Well,
amazing.
for you, Krista, what's it like to raise money? Because that's your full-time job,
It
right?
is
Yeah.
my full-time
Yeah.
job. I think when you believe in a cause
Yes.
as much as I believe in Wishing Star, it's
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
People really tend to gravitate towards helping children,
Yes.
especially
Yes.
local children who are so sick.
Yes.
And it's almost easy. We have some amazing community partners that
Good.
really step up and help us out.
Who are some of those partners?
Oh, we had Northern Quest do one
Okay.
of the most amazing wish reveals we've ever had.
Oh, fun.
They just went above and beyond. STCU has come on board
Yes.
this year as a big sponsor for our events. We have our goating sponsors who are honorary sponsors this year that include A to Z Rental, Spokane Produce, Burke's DKI. We have
Spokane Home Builders
Spokane Home Builders
Association.
Association
Good.
has been
Okay.
longtime supporters.
Yes.
They come from everywhere in
Okay.
every different facet of Spokane's community,
Yeah.
and there's just so much support, and it feels good to be at Wishing Stars.
Well, not everybody can do what the teacher did.
Yes.
We have full-time jobs and families and everything else, but a lot of us can contribute our time and talent and so forth to see these things happen. And I know, do you have a recent story that you can tell of a little boy or girl?
Well,
One of our Wish Kids.
Well,
Yeah,
why
one
don't
of your
we-
wish ki-
One of our wish kids that we're focusing on for this year's
Okay, okay.
goat event is Drea. And
Okay.
you want to share about Drea?
Yeah, so Drea's 4 years old.
Oh, boy.
She was born with SCIDS, which is kind of more informally called the bubble boy syndrome. She
Okay,
has no
yes.
immune system.
Oh, no.
So Drea's
Oh.
wish is to have a backyard that she can play in,
Oh.
and because of her immune system being so compromised,
There's
she
a lot
can
of restrictions.
play. Right, she can play on concrete and astroturf.
Okay.
When it's not windy, when there's no one mowing their lawn, when there's no one outside, but. She's 4. Every 4-year-old deserves a yard to play
Oh my
in
gosh,
and
yes.
sunshine on them. So we are so excited to be working on this wish. Now that we've gotten rid of our snow,
Yes, yes.
we're ready to break ground and make Drea's wish come true.
Fun, fun. Now, do you get, you have to raise the money for this, but do you get people supplying
Absolutely.
supplies, if you will, and work and so forth too?
absolutely.
Okay.
Of course.
Oh,
go ahead.
Because that counts a lot too, doesn't
Well,
it?
it does. Our average wish cost is between $8,000 and $10,000.
Okay.
However, we really try to be good stewards of that, and
Yeah.
with our community partners, we get between 40 and 60% of that in kind.
Wow.
Through our
Wow.
community partners. So it really does work out. And Wishing Star is more than just a wish granting organization. We're unique in the sense that our relationship with the children and the family goes on beyond the wish.
Yes.
We have activities for our kids after their wishes and their families. And then in the situations where we have a terminally ill child that passes on, we provide grief support for the family.
Wow.
So
Wow.
they say, we're a wish family. I have to
Yes.
tell you this. My daughter is a
Really?
wish kid.
Really?
Yes, she was diagnosed with cancer when she was 17, just 2 years ago. That's how I got involved
I'll
with
bet.
Wishing Star.
I'll bet.
And now I'm the executive director. But we have a personal story with that. And that is what impressed me with Wishing Star is the relationship that is built that is not just about a wish.
Yes.
But Grace, my daughter, her wish came at just the right time. She was going through her second round of treatment.
Oh, Lord.
It's her senior year of high school. She
Oh.
was unable to be, involved with what her
Yes.
friends were. And that wish came at a time where she needed something to lift her up and
Yes.
to keep her going.
But also not to forget as time goes on too, because
exactly.
it's so easy to do something and then you move on to the next thing. We tend to do that in life because so many things are thrown at us. I mean, I
Absolutely.
watch the TV like everybody else does, and you see some of the various hospitals across the country and so forth. And my wife and I turn to each other often and say, oh, boy, they're just doing some tremendous things across the country, and here we are in Spokane doing this. How can people? Let's talk about the goats, okay? 'cause
Perfect. The goat in the room.
They smell like goats.
The goat in the room,
The goat in the
yes,
room.
yeah. How can people? Because there's still time, isn't there? Barely.
Go ahead, Krista. Dash the goat hope.
I'm so sorry to dash the goat hopes. We have turned off our goat orders.
Really?
We have. We did Monday.
That's successful.
That's
It is.
successful.
That said, we have orders that are pending. So
Okay.
the rest of today, tomorrow, and Friday, we will be out goating. And
Okay.
we do have opportunities for re-goating.
Oh,
so
okay.
if someone receives a goat, they can still send it along to someone else.
okay.
So there are opportunities. We just can't start that process from the
Yeah,
beginning.
no,
right now.
I get that. Okay, but you would still take a check or something like that.
We
wouldn't you?
never say no to money.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like my wife.
And
we won't go
we
there.
still have 26 kids currently on our wish list.
Really?
And over 40 in the referral process.
How many will you do a year on average?
This year we're going to be over 32. Is that what
Yeah,
we think
we
we'll
have-
be?
32 kids?
By the end.
Wow.
We have
Right.
we have provided over 1,300 wishes since the inception.
Wow.
Local kids here in Spokane.
Spokane,
and Tri-Cities.
Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah.
You know what I'd like to do if someone is willing, okay, and you'll have to check this out. I would love to have you bring someone who's gone through this process to come in with mom or dad or brother or sister and to talk about, give them a little chance to shine, but to also talk about their experience, because that will be more effective than you two ladies and me.
Oh,
okay?
absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
let's face it.
Yeah.
Let's get them crying out there, okay? And
We
then-
cry almost every day, so
we
it's time
really
for other
do.
people
I'll
too.
bet. Well, as a former YMCA director and involved in a number of boards in town and so forth, congratulations for what you're doing, because this is important. And keep in touch with us, all right?
Well,
We
thank
will.
you
And
for
I'm
letting
glad
us
you're
share.
sold out.
No goat. Well, you
But I
have
have
the
the
insurance.
insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have a goat in the car if you need.
Oh, of course you do. That's what I was afraid of. That's what I'm holding on to this. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Better Spokane's Michael Cathcart right after this.
The economy is getting stronger. Banks are lending again, and interest rates are at historic lows. Now is a great time to buy your dream home. The caring and knowledgeable professionals at Homes for You have been helping people just like you for over 20 years. They take the time to listen to what you want and will help you find just the right home in Washington or Idaho. Real estate is what we do at Homes for You, 928-5782, or visit online at homes4uspokane.com.
Welcome to a new kind of talk show, Spokane Talks, where you find news, views, and conversations that include respect for opinions, facts, and diversity.
Spokane Talks, Saturdays at 8 a.m. on Fox 28.
O'Brien Logistics would like to invite you to try our local and regional transportation services. With Sprinter vans, lift gates, hot shot flatbeds, and expedited services, our people are ready to step in and help with your transportation needs. Our services are 24/7, 365, and we are trained and prepared to handle air cargo and Canadian shipments. Give us a call at 208-305-2311 or visit our website at o'brienlogistics.net. That's OBRIEN logistics.net.
Well, welcome back. Michael Cathcart from
Yeah.
Better Spokane. You just are running around town today, aren't you?
I'm trying, making a lot of meetings today.
Yeah, you're making a lot of money?
Well, a little bit.
A little bit, okay.
Here and there.
Better Spokane, there's a lot going on. I didn't read the whole thing, but there's a story about the teachers and so forth and so on in the paper, and homelessness and so forth. What topics do you want to cover other than those?
Well, first and foremost, let me just say
yes.
Thank you, Mayor Condon, for vetoing the City Hall, basically homeless day shelter.
Do you think I'll be overridden?
What a terrible idea. I based on the spokesman's reporting, it doesn't sound like it.
No, okay.
It sounds like the city council's finally figured out this is not a popular issue. People do not want to use City Hall as a daytime warming shelter.
Including the City Hall employees.
Right.
You know,
especially the City Hall employees.
I mean, they're trying to be kind.
The front line, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they're the ones that have to deal with
it
this.
Doesn't affect
daily
Ben
basis.
or someone upstairs on the other floor.
No, the council gets to hide out, as well as the mayor's office. They get to hide out on the 7th floor, away from everything, secure. They don't have to deal with any problems that might occur. So thank you, Mayor Condon, for vetoing. That is just so crucial.
Yeah.
The other thing I was just going to bring up is how frustrating is it to see how disproportionately affected Rogers High School is in this teacher layoff issue. And
But that's because of an antiquated system, though,
yeah,
isn't it?
and it is, and it's not. And this specifically isn't an issue that like our organization really addresses. It's more of a state issue, how we deal with these things. But it really is affecting our community in a pretty unfortunate way. And so it's something that
Explain
you can't
why
help but-
why that's an issue to our audience.
Well, I mean, basically, the school board last year approved significant increases in pay for staff, right? Teachers and administrative staff.
Right.
They knew going in that by doing that, they would be putting themselves in an even deeper deficit. I think they already had a small deficit at that point.
Right.
And they knew that this was going to elevate it or increase it to a pretty significant degree. So they did it anyway. I think they felt the political pressure to do it.
Right.
The school
Keep
board
the teachers
agreed.
happy, blah, blah.
Right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the problem is we have a system that rewards seniority over performance.
Okay.
And no one's going to agree, and we're not going to figure it out today how you exactly measure performance for teachers. But that is a major issue that's affecting things, because whether it's pay or whether it's layoffs, when layoffs occur, it's more, the seniority is favored.
Yes.
So the best teachers,
whether that's an effective teacher or not.
Correct.
Yes.
And so
it's that way in a lot of businesses, though, too, isn't it, with the union contracts and so forth?
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
It's pretty standard. I mean, that's the way that works typically. And so, but it's just very frustrating because you see that, in Rogers High School is being so disproportionately affected because they have a lot of newer hires, because they have a lot of turnover. And, I live in that area there, and, just not too far from Rogers, and it's just so frustrating to see that this is happening. And so I really hope the school board is going to revisit this issue, look closer at the economics, and figure out some alternative, because boy, is it just kind of heartbreaking to watch.
We've all seen the 325 number, but there could be more.
Potentially. I mean, they've got, what is it, a $31 million deficit.
Right.
And so if the legislature doesn't, decide to swoop in with some sort of a rescue mission.
But I thought that was solved through McCleary and everything else, the dollars from the state.
Well, the state gave all these school districts, all of this money that was the result of McCleary and the levy swap. And unfortunately, the schools, rather than, putting it in their general fund to use to solve these issues, they spent it.
Yeah.
And now we're in the situation that we're in.
Yeah, I've been saying, and it sounds like it's fairly true, that it really comes down to the local board of educations who took that leap of faith, if you will, that it would just solve itself.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen.
Well, and
you and I that run businesses and organizations have to kind of know where things are, and if the money's not going to be there in 10 months from now, why am I going to increase my budget?
Oh, absolutely.
Without knowing where the revenues are coming from.
That's right. That's exactly right. And I want to be perfectly clear. I don't necessarily blame the union. I mean, they were advocating for what they do, right?
Absolutely.
But the school board was the ones that had to make
they're the adults in the room, if you will. And I don't mean that unions aren't adult. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they have that response. We've elected them.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some of them are going to be up for election this fall, right?
There will be, and some of those members are actually looking for other jobs, running for perhaps city council. So they,
great.
There are other considerations, and so hopefully they are seeing this and learning and understanding, that you just can't make these sorts of decisions just because of a little bit of political pressure.
But you and others have talked about this last August, when it was all going on. Wait, folks, there's a problem up ahead. You could see around the bend on the track, right? I don't understand why the adults on the school board, didn't stand up and say, we can't take that much at this point. Let's do it over a couple of years or whatever it is until we know where things settle.
Well, and too often, and I don't know that this is exactly the mentality that the school board had at the time, but too often there is a mentality in government to just kick the can and let future electeds, future people deal with it, right?
Yeah.
And I hope that wasn't the case, but it very well may have been that's what they were thinking.
Well, you have to kind of think it is based on the results of what's happening, which is what was outlined to happen by most business people, at least in town, right?
Oh, sure.
Who deal with a budget and all of that.
Yeah, and the headlines were pretty clear. I mean, the spokesman had a lot of reporting on this, and it was pretty evident that there was deficits, and we knew this was going to happen.
Okay, we're about 3 weeks away from 4 weeks away from filing. 13th through the 17th.
That's right.
What you hear?
Well, we have, in my opinion, a fabulous candidate running for mayor, Nadine Woodward. I think she's going to be a fantastic candidate and a fantastic mayor.
I think she's going to come out, from my years of experience, because I'm old, not because it's great experience, but
just a little on the older side.
That she's actually going to come out number one in the primary.
Yes. I think that's possible. I mean, looking at it reasonably.
Look at Condon when he ran against Mary Werner was in second place. So,
Sure,
and he went on to win. But I mean,
That's
I think
right.
she's going to come out stronger than most people think.
I think she will too. I don't know if she'll be one, but
Okay.
I think she'll be extremely competitive.
Yes.
And I would actually put her as the front runner in the race.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Okay.
And I think the dynamics of how the politics shake out in the primary, may not make her the number one at that point. But I do think that if the election were today, that she would be the next mayor. I really believe that.
Are you sensing what I'm sensing, that there's fatigue over Ben?
Yeah, a little fatigue, but I don't think that's exactly it. I think there's just, from what I am sensing from people who've reached out to me and talked to me since Nadine made her announcement, there is just an abundance of optimism over her candidacy.
Okay.
I am hearing that all over the place.
Okay.
I talk to people younger, older, and I hear the same thing. I
Okay.
have seen her on TV my whole life. I love her. She is smart.
She's
She is
been in
great.
my home for
She has been
28
in my home.
years.
Right.
Yes.
And I get that from people, all sides of the political
Yes.
spectrum.
Yes.
They know her, they trust her. And so I think that it.
And traditionally, TV people do quite well.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, because of that familiarity.
That's right.
And so forth.
But to have been as good as she was in her job for the last 30 years, and she's been doing other things too, but to be as good as she was, she had to build a lot of trust with a lot of people in this community to know that they could.
Because if you don't, you're gone. You can be replaced on TV.
Exactly.
I mean,
that's right.
Yeah.
If people don't trust you, you can't get stories, you can't get information.
Right.
You're toast. And
Right.
so she's, I think, proven that she's.
Any other hot races?
Well, I'll tell you, I've been having a lot of conversations with some folks. I'm really excited. I think we've got some great candidates who might be popping up here very quickly in both the Northwest and the South Hill.
Okay.
Some just wonderful people, and I'm really excited about that. Hopefully, we can talk about that the next time I'm on.
Yeah.
Because
you're going to be here during filing week or right after, or during.
I think the week after.
Week after, yeah.
So we can do
that's going to be a fun one.
We can do a whole rundown of everybody who's filing, and see if there's any surprises.
Tell me, please.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the South Hill district.
Okay.
That there's somebody really good coming.
Well, I think somebody really good is coming.
Okay.
I really do.
I would trust you, but yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. There's an individual I've talked with a couple of times, encouraged to consider running.
A
Very
business
smart
person with some business background. Good.
Very smart. Has been around some of our educational institutions in the past.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about the possibility there.
Yeah.
I think he'll be a great candidate.
Good.
Yeah.
Anything else going on?
Well, one thing I was just going to mention. So we announced last time I was here about the 2 ballot measures that we're
yes. How's that going?
Very good. We've had a lot of people coming to us saying how supportive they are.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen some of the media coverage lately, but we had some real favorable articles come out recently.
Yeah.
The Spokesman Review covered kind of the launch of the initiatives a little bit, and kind of some backwards criticisms, I think, from some of the collective bargaining units came out basically saying, hey, the public shouldn't see, what's inside the hot dog, how the sausage is being made.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, boy, wouldn't we all just be healthier if we knew what was in the hot dog?
Maybe their own members would like to see what's going on too. The deals being made.
That's it.
You
right?
know?
And you hear people say, well, isn't this going to hurt the collective bargaining units? And I say, I think it's going to strengthen them.
I think so too.
Because now their rank and file members, their individual members, can actually observe and see and know that their leadership is representing them the way they expect.
Right.
And if that's the case, they're going to be so much more supportive of their union leaders.
Yes.
And if they're not, then they might want a change in leadership, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think it's going to hurt the union. It'll just make them better and stronger and actually be more representative of their membership.
Remind folks real quickly what the two initiatives are.
So we're running a pair of smart reforms. Smart reforms for a better Spokane is what we're calling it.
Yes.
And we'll have the website actually up today this afternoon, and it's SpokaneSmartReforms.com.
Okay.
So you can just read. There'll be more information coming, but you'll be able to at least read the measures and get some basic info there. So the first proposition is transparency in government.
Yes.
And it just says that the negotiating process for collective bargaining agreements needs to be public.
And that's being done in counties and so forth around the area, including Spokane County.
It's been done, absolutely.
Yes.
Spokane, Lincoln, Ferry have all done it. There's 2 other counties, I believe, and then the Pullman School District, as a matter of fact.
Oh, good.
And so people should know this won't affect Spokane School District. They would have to do it on their own.
Right, as a school district.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it does impact any of the unions that work within the city limits.
Yes, okay.
Exactly.
Good.
So that's the first one. The second one, very simply put, is a prohibition on a city income tax. And this expands to include capital gains,
right,
as well as it could include a city business and occupations.
And I saw that even Ben said maybe we ought to pass it as a council. And
yeah, I mean, obviously,
is that going to happen? Do you think?
I don't think that will happen, but
Okay.
I do think that they see this as a very popular notion that people don't want more taxes, and
Right.
so they're very well made.
Politically speaking, it would
want
not
to support it.
His supporting it.
Yeah.
I mean, supporting keeping it open for
Right.
potential would not be good at this time for him politically.
Well, perhaps
Yeah.
we and for us, I mean, the only thing the council could do is pass a resolution or an ordinance that does this, which could be easily overturned at any time.
Okay.
So what we're proposing with both of these is a charter amendment.
Okay.
Which means it would
take another charter amendment.
It would take
to
another
change-
vote.
A vote of the
and,
people.
and one of the reasons for that, there's many, but one of the real strong reasons for that is we want to send a very strong message
that
to
the people are speaking.
Well, the people are speaking, but we want to send a message outside of Spokane
Yeah.
to other employers who are looking at us as
Yes.
a place to maybe relocate or expand,
Right.
and say, hey, guess what? We believe so much that we don't want to tax you to death
Right.
that we've actually put this in our charter. Compare us to the city of Seattle.
Yes.
Who
Or
is
those
doing
that
the
are moving
opposite.
from the city of Seattle to Bellevue.
Right.
I mean,
exactly.
welcome.
The Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And thank God that we've got an Amazon distribution center coming
Right.
here, and hopefully more someday.
Yes.
That's the goal, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, we want to make sure that these folks know that they can have confidence in our community, that their skilled laborers come here, they move their headquarters here or just expand operations here, that we are not going to tax them to death, and that is so important. I think.
Absolutely. Michael, thank you for
Thank
you
you.
and your organization and what
Yeah.
you do. Have you gotten goaded yet?
I have not been goaded, but if somebody gave me a goat, I'm not giving it back. So
okay.
Just know I'm keeping it.
Are you in an apartment or
I'm in a house.
A house.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could have it in the backyard.
Yeah, neighbors might not like it, but
well, the heck with the neighbors.
That's
Okay, they complain about your sunning out there in the backyard.
Well, let's keep it on the down
okay, all right, we won't go there. Okay, Michael, thank you very much for all
Absolutely.
that you do. Hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you here next Tuesday on the Pulse of Spokane. Have a great week, everybody.
The Pulse of Spokane is produced in Spokane, Washington by SpokaneTalksMedia.com, which is solely responsible for its content. The Pulse of Spokane is brought to you in part by Homes for You and CW Crates and Pallets. Ask Kent a question, recommend a guest, or hear this program again on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SpokaneTalksMedia.com.